Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes. And tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, we're going to be talking about an approaching cold front and a fairly powerful, let's call it a non-tropical storm. It'll be part of it's going to be a tropical storm that gets involved, but it'll be a powerful non-tropical storm that will form this weekend over New England, and it will drive wholesale pattern change across the United States. We'll talk all about that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, it's another rather warm day with winds coming in mostly from the southeast and south. Temperatures in the 70s today as opposed to being up in the 80s, but still very warm for this time of year. And we've got two cold fronts out to the west, one crossing the Great Lakes and heading down, kind of snaking its way down through Oklahoma, the second one behind it. And it's behind that we are seeing gusty winds and rather cool air, and that is going to be pushing eastward. It's been a very slow process this week with the ridge in the eastern part of the United States. This front is being held up by Tropical Storm Philippe, and that storm is moving toward Bermuda, where we have tropical storm warnings in effect. It's a I guess we could call it a rather sad excuse for a tropical storm. It's weak, it's elongated, it's nothing really that's going to cause uh, too much of a bother to Bermuda, but at the same time, we have an upper low that is off the east coast and this approaching cold front with a deep upper trough behind it. You see it there with that swirl that's moving across Minnesota into the western lakes. And this is going to result in a powerful storm that's going to develop. Now, it may wind up being that the center of the tropical storm becomes the primary low, or it could be the non-tropical low that develops that absorbs Philippe and makes it all one. But either way, the outcome is going to be the same for, especially for northern New England through upstate New York, where there's the potential for heavy rain and some flash flooding this weekend, particularly on Saturday. We are probably just going to be right on the edge of some of the steadier rainfall, and I'm anticipating that even though that the ground is saturated, as long as rainfall amounts stay under an inch across eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, that should minimize any type of flooding issues. Now, the radar this afternoon is quiet up and down the eastern seaboard, except for a few scattered showers off the Carolina coast. But you see this large area of rain that is in eastern Illinois, covering Indiana to northwest Ohio and Michigan, and back into northwest Kentucky. We can extend this a little further southwest across Louisiana and into South Texas. Again, some patches of heavy rain there. And a little bit of action with that second upper trough. It's actually producing some thunderstorms up in northern Wisconsin and on up into the upper peninsula of Michigan. The Storm Prediction Center for today is indicating no severe weather. In fact, no severe weather is forecast for the next 3 days, just a narrow area of general thunderstorms as the system moves to the east. So from the standpoint of severe weather, we're going to be on the quiet side. And here's the rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, folks. And I'm pretty much in line with this. The southern edge of a half an inch gets to about central New Jersey, western Long Island, a good chunk of Connecticut into southeast into Rhode Island, and then you get into the 3/4 of an inch to an inch as you go a little further north, and it's really north of I-90, particularly in north central New York, east of Lake Ontario, where we're looking at the potential for up to a few inches of rain, and that extends into Vermont. And on the other side of that, we've got heavy rains indicated of several inches for much of the state of Maine, as well as for southeastern Canada. So this system is going to be a big rainmaker indeed. And as we said, it's going to be driving pattern change. So as we go through the rest of today and tonight, no issues. And you can see this is the European run today with the tropical storm on the lower right, the cold front crossing the Ohio Valley and moving into western Pennsylvania with some showers. During the day on Friday, look for some scattered showers that could develop with temperatures in the 70s and an ocean wind. The ocean low, again, be it whether it's the tropical or the non-tropical low, you can see both of them here tomorrow evening. It's all going to become one, and move northward. There's going to be some non-tropical impacts on this storm that may cause it to intensify as it heads up southeast of Cape Cod. Meanwhile, you see the rain with the cold front over New York State and into New Jersey Saturday morning into the afternoon. And then it should be mostly done by evening. And then this storm goes into southeast Canada. It's going to get on the windy side Saturday night into Sunday. I think we might even be a borderline wind advisory criteria here. And the big change is going to be with temperatures because we are going to have some leftover warmer air around for well, certainly tomorrow in the 70s, and probably upper 60s along the coast and cooler low 60s and 50s inland Saturday after the front passes. But then Sunday, temperatures I think are going to be hard pressed to get out of the 50s with a gusty northwest wind, maybe some breaks of sun, but there's instability around with this upper air and surface storm to the north. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of pop-up showers. And that chilly air takes us, I think, through much of next week. And we're going to switch over to the GFS. And again, another day, Monday, temperatures probably not getting out of the 50s, some instability. The showers are not impossible, but most will not see anything. Could be some showers around Monday night into Tuesday, and then again later Tuesdays, we get a little bit of a reinforcement of that chilly, dry air. And then later next week, and particularly toward next weekend, the models still are continuing to zero in on the possibility of some sort of storm system that will be impacting the Northeast, actually the entire East Coast for late next week and into next weekend. So we seem to be in this cycle now where weekends are a problem as far as the weather is concerned. We will discuss all of this in great detail tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. right here on my YouTube channel. So be sure you tune in.